Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia and this is Mom in Real Life. Today I want to talk about the very first wearable pump I've ever used. So I have the Freemie pump. I think it's the Freemie, the Freemie Independence. So not the one with the screen. And honestly, I do really love this pump. It's not super loud, though if you are in a quiet room, you will hear it. And it does relatively well under clothing, but it is like noticeable. I guess more so if you just know my body type, you would be like, oh no, that's not how she normally looks. But to me, I know the difference, so it looks kind of weird, but you could totally get away with walking around with this. I've walked around stores with this. I wear this sometimes at work. Like, I'll just sit at my desk with it. Obviously, I do like to wear like a larger sweater with it though, so it's not as pronounced. Or like today, I have on the cardigan. So like, see, when I have this on, it's like you can't even tell. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Some of my top favorite things I like about it is that it is a wearable pump. So you are, for the most part, hands-free. The only reason I say the most part is because you do have this thing to deal with. Sorry, there's lights behind me. I don't really know how to fix that. I'm in my car, obviously. Yeah, so it's kind of hands-free. For the most part, it's hands-free. Now, there is a little part on the back where you can have a clip. I have lost my clip. I don't know. Let's see if I can show. It's hard to see. But there's a spot on the back of the motor itself where you can like clip it to like your jeans or your purse or whatnot. You could stick it in your pocket. My only concern with doing that is like how my tube just fell apart. You can end up knocking your tube out. I think that's probably one of the most annoying things about this pump, honestly, is the tubes. Which is why it's not my absolute favorite wearable pump, but it is a really good pump. The suction is pretty comfortable and pretty easy to adjust. Let's see if I can get some. There we go. So you have these, let's see. So you have these numbers, 1, 2, and 3. Those are you can set it to fit the suction or speed that works for you. I like to do like a 1, 2, 3-ish system. So for my number 1 setting, I'll click it now. You can see the lights change. So at number 1, my suction is lower, my speed is higher. That's to kind of mirror like the baby's initial suckling, which are like quick sucks and not as deep. And I do that to trigger letdown, and once that starts, then I'll go ahead and hit my number 2, which, as you saw, the light went up, is a stronger suction and a slower speed to kind of mimic how the baby would start to feed after the letdown started. Those longer, slow sucks. And sometimes I will go to 3, which is just more intensified. High suction, even slower speed. Because the slower the speed, the more suction you get. I usually pump at level 2 for the longest. 3, I will only do that sometimes if I'm kind of like in a hurry, or if I just feel like number 2 is just not doing it that day, because you know the baby drinks different. I guess the pump needs to be different sometimes, but typically that's the order I do. Is like 1, 2, sometimes 3. And I will usually pump between 20 and 30 minutes. I wish I could be some of those women who have like a 5 to 10 minute pump session, but I'm not. My body's just slower with the product. At least that's just how I respond to the pump. Because like with my baby, he feeds in like 5 to 10 minutes, which is crazy. Kind of annoying how quick he'll feed, but then how slow I have to pump. But yeah, so I like this pump overall. I'm almost finishing my pump session, and when I do that, I will remove the cups and show you that a little further. Alright, so I'm in between my break on work, so I don't have a lot of time. I don't have enough time to do the full 30-minute pump session. because the way this pump is set up, it will go for a total of 30 minutes before it shuts off automatically, which I'm kind of lazy and don't always like setting a timer, and that kind of helps me. So when I have my other pump, it does a 20 minutes, so I just let it go until it turns off on its own. And then with this one, I usually let it go until it turns off on its own, but today I don't have that luxury, so I'm stopping at the 20-minute mark. Let's go ahead and press. Ooh, once you see that, I'm gonna go ahead and just press off my power button. Lights go off, pump is off. I'll usually disconnect the tube from the pump. Now mind you, this is not the original Freemie tube. I highly suggest, if you get replacement tubes, that you get it directly from Freemie. Do not get the knockoffs. These tubes annoy me so much. It's awkward shaped. It falls out of the pump so much easier than the original tubing, which is probably the reason why I really stopped using this pump as much, is because I had to replace my tube. My first one got damaged. So I will be buying the proper tube soon, because this ain't it. So yeah, I usually take the tubes out the motors. Now, let me see if I can angle this. Kinda. My steering wheel's in the way, I'm sorry guys. So, I tuck the tubes in like my shirt in the bra area, so it's like you can't see it. And usually I do that by just snaking this through the shirt and through the bra. And once I put them in the cups, I'll just pull on this end until it's flat. So say I just stuck my cups in, the tubes will sit out like that, and I just boom. So yeah, so when removing, I'll go ahead and disconnect the tubes from the cups, which is pretty easy. I'll show you that. Snake it through the bottom, pull that out, go ahead and stick that in my bag. And another thing, so this is something I really like about these cups. They're very easy to take out with minimum spilling. Now, mind you, don't do nothing crazy, but I can pretty discreetly pull this out. Boom. I didn't pump much that time, but that's what it is. Let's see what the other side got. Not much. Okay. So these are the cups. That's how it looks when it's full of milk. I'll go ahead and dump that out. Then I'll show a close-up of what the cups actually look like. Probably when I get home later today, because like I said, I'm kind of in a rush to get back to work. There's a little pour spout. Just dump it in carefully. And I like to just tip it sideways from the flange to just get those extra few drops that didn't make it to the collection cup. Do that with the second one. Just dump it in the Medela bottle. Extra couple drops. So this was not the most impressive pump session for YouTube, but I pumped a good 2 ounces. But that's okay. My pump earlier was about 5 ounces, and I usually pump 2 times while I'm at work, and I'll pump on my way home from work. So it's usually about 3 times while I'm away from my baby, and I'll produce a total of about 12, 13-ish ounces, which is usually what he'll drink when he's at school anyway. So I replace the milk. Usually the second pump of the day is smaller. I don't know why that is. Like my first pump was about 5 ounces. This one was 2. My next one will probably be about 5 ounces as well. That's usually how it just goes. Yeah, so that's me using this pump in the car. Now back to work I go.